Hello and welcome to HanaMade. In this video I want to show you how I make these pretty fairy mirrors. So I call them fairy mirrors because they remind me fairies and anything to do with fairies really and gnomes. They have natural look and true is they're fake flowers but still. So there are a few different samples here. I made 5 mirrors and I will give you instructions and then I kind of let you watch what I do. So first of all, important thing is to have all the supplies ready. So I do buy mirrors in the thrift store, yard sale. I do love recycling whatever I can, and then I have stash of different flowers. I like poison ivy, English ivy, ferns, pastel-looking flowers, blueberries, kind of woodsy leaves and moss. This moss is not sure, however, I preserved it. And then I'm adding some plastic insects and animals. That's the last choice what you can do, or you can use fairies. And then I have tools. The most important tool is pliers and glue gun and extra cartridges, and then I have rubbing alcohol or window cleaner. And this is the cutest stash ever. That's all fairy related items. So I crocheted some little baskets. I made little glass potion jars and polymer clay mushrooms and other stuff. So that's me. And I like to kind of assemble everything first before I glue it down. The old fashioned rule, measure twice, cut once, does still apply. Um, it is kind of fun to lay all the mirrors and play with the layout at once, or you can assemble it one by one, whatever works for you. I first laid everything on my workbench outside because the glue gun stinks, and then I basically played around with different layouts. I like each mirror to have little unique look and have kind of combination of colors that go together. You can do whatever you want. You can use your imagination and just dive into it. The most important part, as I mentioned, is to kind of assemble it first to see how it works. If you are brave enough, you can glue it right away. But I do think there are many things that you kind of learn from the process of layering it up, and especially how to hide the glue or the ugly ends. So once again, remember that all artificial flowers have a wire inside it, so please don't use scissors or your mom will kill you. So anyhow, this is fun project and honestly, use your imagination, go for it. As I mentioned, ferns are fantastic, English ivy is great. Oh, that was windy. And any kind of flowers. I do chop off the ends of the flowers when it's extending a little bit. So this is mirror number 1. I am not going to narrate the whole video and give you narration for everything. I just wanted to give you idea and kind of see what I do, how it may work. I will try to give you a few different tips. So I hate seeing the marks from the glue. I really like to cover it up well. So right here in the corner, I put more glue and I put the leaf over it so you don't see it. Also the leaves on the flower, I make sure I kind of attach each petal with a little bit of block. Remember, this is going to hang on the wall and things may be kind of leaning forward or even fall off. So do make sure it doesn't fall off. That's embarrassing. So my favorite part is attaching the moss. The moss is amazing. As I mentioned, it has to be preserved moss so it doesn't dry out and doesn't fall off. It's fun and it hides lots of little mistakes and the glue as well. So have fun with this. And here is the finished product. I'm quite pleased. It is small mirror that is still practical, can be used. I love the theme, the coloring of it, and I think it will make a fantastic present. By the way, these can make a really good present for anybody who enjoys flowers, plants, and likes gardening. They can be hung on the porch, covered roof porch. So I'm very happy with this. So here's mirror number 2. It's round, it's pretty cool. So I was just showing the direction of the attachments on the back. Always make sure it is up. You can eventually add another wire, however, it's much more difficult once it's assembled and you don't want to break anything. So make sure that before you start attaching things that you actually know which direction the mirror is going to hang. So here I'm playing with different kind of clusters. Usually I use corners where I cluster my things. However, this is round, so I kind of pick 1, 2, 3 sides where I'm going to make little clusters. There's something really pretty about 2, 3 leaves and then little flower or two popping out. One tip I want to share is that the flowers are attached to the stem with wire and they have kind of like thicker blob there. I do cut it off completely so it's flat and easier to attach. And then I do make sure it is the whole parts of the flower that are attached because otherwise they will fall off. So make sure you turn it upside down once in a while or pull on it a little bit. This mirror is pretty simple and I really, as you can see, you don't need much. It's just 2, 3 flowers and you can easily buy them used. You can buy all wreath. I do love recycling, upcycling. I'm very proud of it. And or you can go to any store and buy them there. You can also use natural flowers. So here I'm showing you how to attach the English ivy. Because it's very thin plastic and when you're using the glue it may melt it, so I always put moss on the top of the blob. I put a generous blob of glue there and then I put moss on it, and as you can see I'm actually, instead of burning my fingers, I am using the brush. I just squeeze it in with that. So that was pretty cute idea. I do prefer to hide the plastic stem, but well, we work with what we have. I also, right there, I think you can see that I'm cutting off the leaf that would cover the flowers. It's repetitive, imaginary move really, and you can have tons of fun with this. And don't don't let anybody intimidate you, because especially this project really doesn't have any limits. You can have as much fun as you want with that. You can make it for yourself, you can make it for somebody else, but the important part is that you are being creative. You are doing something that you enjoy, something that's relaxing, something that spruces up your imagination. And now I'm attaching the polymer clay mushroom. These mushrooms, I pre-made them, very easy. Polymer clay is fantastic to work with. And I made them flat because they are for the mirrors, so I figured that they will be easier to glue and stay. So that's it. Once again, I'm pretty happy. It's nice, right? By the way, I didn't sand out the edges, but sand down meaning the paint. But I think it adds little kind of worn out, natural look to it. And now I'm diving into mirror number 3. By the way, this is probably my favorite because I'm not a pink person, but the silver of the frame kind of has got little pinkish hint in it, and it goes really well with the pink flower and mushrooms. So as I mentioned, I like to work from the corners. So basically I put huge blob of glue in the corner and then I attach everything. I do it somewhat in different dimensions, and then the most important part to me is to hide the glue. So that's why I plopped the flower there. This little branch was kind of thick, so again I had to use lots of glue, and then I had to make sure I hide it with the fern leaf. By the way, it doesn't hurt to have anything hang over the frame as well. You're decorating the frame as well as the mirror, and I like kind of that is basically on the borderline. It's not either on the mirror or on the frame. Once again, I'm using the brush to attach the glue so I don't burn my fingers. If you do burn your fingers, use lukewarm water, of course. But be careful. This is a great project for kids to work on as well, and you should assist them with the glue gun. This lovely ornamental chunky mirror is fantastic. I'm super excited actually working on it. And I did pick red or maroon is not my color. However, it worked really great against black. Once again, I'm starting in the corners, I'm putting some ferns, some leaves. So as I mentioned, I'm hiding the blue blob from the fern with the two leaves. I put them in opposite direction and then I put the flower over it. I think that every artist, if I can call myself that, has got certain styles. So you will probably see me reusing, kind of using the same method, or I have same eye for certain things. We all have some kind of same groove that we are using all the time. And it doesn't mean that mine is right. There are tons and tons of different ideas, and anybody can use their imagination and do whatever works for them. I really enjoyed this mirror. I think it was typical woodsy thing. I imagine walking in a fairy house and seeing it there on the wall. Yes, I have a great imagination. And I do think that this pink mushroom with the polka dots kind of softened it that a little bit. And now you will see how much actually the light green adds up. So this is actually fake hydrangea, and I love how little gentle it is and that it is green because there's too much moss. Oops, that's my head, sorry. So whenever you go yard sale shopping, thrift stores, do pay attention to all the wreath and other decorations that probably are not selling well. However, the flowers on it are somewhat valuable or can be reused. And I do have to admit that hunting for superheroes is kind of fun. It gives you a little focus, and I really think everything you can buy, especially in the United States, is very reasonable. Secondhand stuff is very reasonable and in great shape, and you can save tons of money. As you can see, again, I'm attaching the moss now, and it adds a lot. Like just kind of, you can slow it down and have a look how it looks like before and after. The moss adds so much. I do have to admit, when I saw any kind of projects with moss, I always worry about the dust on it. I worry that it'll be dust collector. However, you can actually clean it up very easily outside. Just blow it out. You can use vacuum cleaner. So now I'm making sure that everything is attached. I turn the mirror upside down once in a while to make sure nothing will fall off. So the most dangerous thing is that sometimes we don't know when to stop. So just make sure you step away from it once in a while and you see if you added enough, if you need a little bit more. I do believe that less is more, and you can always add more stuff eventually. I do hope that you feel from those videos how much fun it is. So that's another mirror I'm very, very happy with it. And last but not least is the round mirror with purple theme. Purple, not my color at all, but I have to admit it looks pretty. I do think that the mushrooms and the polka dots on it add kind of gentle touch to those mirrors, as well as the moss. Um, I also want to let you know that you can always use real flowers that are preserved. It would be something that I would prefer to do because I don't like plastic. I would not want to buy new plastic, but I feel that since I buy it secondhand, it's not as bad for the environment. You can have tons of fun with those mushrooms. By the way, I do think that it'll be great if you have like work party with kids or birthday party and they are creating stuff from polymer clay, and then you can eventually make fairy mirror or whatever fairy theme for them with those items. I'm playing with blueberries here. I do think that blueberries are something that's very important, very popular thing that comes from the forest. Mushrooms as well as blueberries, maybe some pine cones, ferns, as I mentioned, those are my favorites. Um, there is, I think I mentioned it before, that I kind of like theme of 1, 2, 3, 5 maximum colors in each piece, in each mirror. Too much is a little too kitschy for my taste. Um, Here I'm actually gluing something to the frame. So again, I'm going halfway over the mirror and over the frame. Um, So I'm trying to throw in some last tips that you may enjoy, but I think I shared everything. The most important part: just start with something. Don't let anybody intimidate you. Don't feel that you're adult and you should be doing so many other important things. Just do have fun with this and enjoy it. I do think that this day and age we need a little escape here and there. I do think that being creative, working with our hands, and using our brain without a cheat sheet is something that we all need a daily dose of. um, so these violets, I again chopped off the ends to make them flatter. And then I also make sure that each of those leaves is not floppy. So I put a little tiny bit blob of glue to it. And I hope you can see from these videos that everything, every little thing you attach is adding more interest to the piece, and it's really fun. I enjoy um, watching do-it-yourself videos, so that's why I created this one. And of course, you don't have to follow instructions exactly and make it like I'm making it, but use your imagination and have fun with it. So right now you can see the mirror before Atmos, and then I will add it on and it will look much, much softer. The green is just beautiful. I love green. I'm probably Irish. I'm kidding, I'm not. The other thing is that whatever you can, try to find it in the nature. When you go for hikes or for walks, when you are in your garden, keep your eyes open what you can use. There are tons and tons of things that can be done with little sticks and with pine cones and different branches. I have now a little stash of different weird branches and stuff you can find in the forest. It's amazing how much we can do, and I think that in a fairy and a gnome world, there are truly no limits. So we can have tons and tons of fun with this. And once again, I think it's a really cool present. If I tell you price wise, I do like few different thrift stores where I donate and then I buy something. I do it because I'm frugal, but also for the charity aspect of it. And I feel that I probably spent under $5 on the mirror itself. Then some polymer clay. I usually buy it in Joann's or Michael's half price. And the flowers, I do think that these mirrors can be made for under probably $10 for sure. However, once you start holding other items and supplies, it can add up. But it's very doable for anybody who's on a budget. So that's it. This is my last piece. And do you see the difference? How amazing the moss looks? It really softened it up. Maybe I should post pictures before and after. And I think it's also important to add something to the top. Sometimes I find myself that I'm concentrating on the bottom part of the mirror and then I forget about the top. But even little tiny bit to the top adds a lot. So that's the final product. I hope you like it as much as I do. Alright, that's it. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you like my ideas, you can join me on Facebook or watch me on Instagram. Thanks for watching Hannah Made.